Oh, yeah. The leftists are in full attack mode lately. Recently, as you can see, if you pay any attention on social media, you got to see they're in full defense mode. They got the fucking, they got the pitchforks out and they're ready to attack anyone that challenges their narrative. And me, as you're probably pretty much well aware of at this stage of the game, I love doing it. I love challenging them because when I recognize there are people that are control freaks and sociopaths to try to play some political game, put on a smile, right? And pretend that they're something other than they are, yeah, you better believe I want to call them out for the bullshit, for the narratives, for the lies they espouse. And this is in reference to CBC Radio, The Current. Of course, Anna Maria Tremonti, although she has someone that's been taking over for quite a while, she probably had to take a break, right? Yeah, being a propagandist for the state's really hard on the head. You probably got to take quite a few breaks in between when you place yourself in that kind of precarious position, right? Anyways, this public conversation enables us to really think strategically about ways to shut this down and to also call on Canadians at large. That's the headline, or the quote above the headline. The headline of the actual article is, "Female politicians speak out about sexist, violent cyberbullying." So this is all about these fucking female politicians, right? Crying about having vitriol spewed towards them on social media platforms, right? So they're scared of freedom of speech and retaliatory speech against them. But meanwhile, as we all know, and this is the part I love, and we'll get to this in the comment section, but what is government? Like I say, I don't define the terms. I don't get to make that shit up, and neither does anyone else. These terms, if we're all going to live in the real world and function in reality, we all have to come to terms and realize there are actually defined terms and meanings and definitions for the words we use. That's how the English language functions, people. And the defined meaning of government is to rule over people in a certain geographical landmass, or to have control, or to be the authority, right? So it all comes down to authority and ruling over people. That is what government is. So let's go on down. So think about it. If you become a politician, now look at me. I'm a guy, I'm strong, not just mentally, but physically, right? But I still wouldn't want to go into politics, and it isn't obviously because look at the politicians that you see in question period or any of these fucking assholes. You think I'd be scared of them? Obviously not. I fear none of these fucking losers or the people out in the real world that would be going to get. I don't fear any man or woman. So obviously, I would probably be one of these people that could go into politics, but the reason why I don't is because I don't want to control, dominate, and rule over other people. That is not anything that appeals to me in any way, shape, or form, right? I'm a live, let live kind of guy. I'm a libertarian. I don't believe in controlling, dominating, and ruling over other people. But these fucking women, these females, want to go into these positions where they want to dominate over, like, think about the kind of people they dominate over that would fucking destroy them in the natural order, in the natural realm. These are people that they could never even come close to dominating the people that they have. But what it is they have the force of government, right? They have the mysticism, the collective mysticism of government, and the enforcers that will carry out the edicts of the central planning overlords. So, the police forces, right? That are the most violent. They are the ones that have the monopoly of force in Canada. But yet, what are these politicians writing about? That there are people using verbal speech against them. So they're willing, and we all know politicians are liars. This is what I put in this. Let me get down to the actual my comments, so you'll understand what I'm talking about. So here's my first comment on this article. All politicians lie, steal, and use the threat of violence as a means to an end. That is 100% factually true. So in reality, they are not even met with anything even remotely on the level of what they dish out. They get no sympathy from me. So think about it. To be a politician, of course you have to lie. Show me a politician that has never lied. Go ahead. Point one out. Go ahead. I guarantee I'll find somewhere that I'll prove you wrong. So yes, they all lie, or the fact, I mean, even just the fact that they pretend that they have any legitimate authority, that's already a lie, and we know that because that can be easily proven conclusively, objectively, right? And they steal. Well, I mean, think, of course they steal, right? Whether you're the guy at the top, guy or girl at the top, or the subordinate underneath, government, the only way government functions, all the money they gain is through the use of taxation, tariffs, right? Which are all threats of violence and force as a means to an end. So if you don't pay your taxes, I mean, of course the pretense of violence is there because at first they might lock you in a cage, but how do you think they're going to lock you in a cage? If you're unwilling to go into that cage, how do you think they throw you in the cage if they don't use violence, right? So of course some people try to play and skirt around that fucking reality, but it can always be conclusively proven and objectively proven to be factually true that yes, they all use theft as a means to an end. Now what's the next one I used? And the threat of violence. So once again, if you don't go along with their edicts, with their opinions, with what they force you to go along, and as we all know, all their opinions are subjective at this stage of the game, right? Because obviously they can't be objective when you know that there's no way to do so. And I've already covered that in the 4-question quest for freedom. Look through my past videos where I can show you there's no such thing as legitimate government authority. Because you yourself as a person, or you and your friends, can't give an authority that you don't personally have to another human being. There's no magic wand that you get to wave around and give someone an authority that you don't personally possess, right? So, once again, everything that I stated in my comment is 100% factually true and provable, objectively. But here's the comments I get from, well, first, Megan Fitzgibbon. Oh, good. The sexual violence and misogyny apologist has arrived. I was worried there for a second. So this is the response to my comment. And like I said, let me reiterate my comment. All politicians lie, steal, and use the threat of violence as a means to an end. That is 100% factually true. So in reality, they are not even met with anything even remotely on the level of what they dish out. They get no sympathy from me. So what does Megan offer to the conversation? Just trying to paint me in some stereotypical, and we see this constantly, right? It's a way to try to undermine or demean anything that I've got to say, so that nobody will pay attention to what Bennett would have to say, because he's just I guess I promote sexual violence and misogyny, right? So don't listen to anything I got to say. That's what Megan's saying. And look, you know how many likes? Now this is CBC News. In this particular one, I have no likes, not one. But Megan, the first comment, got 18 likes on that one. So think of it. Well, we all know the kind of people that frequent the CBC. That's why I'm over there commenting. Yeah, I mean, it'd be easy to tell people that I know that understand fundamentally and philosophically that I'm correct, but I wanted to delve into where these people are that are against me. And we're showing. Next one. Emma Chase. Megan, now Emma, right? Look at what happened to Elizabeth Warren. It's Warren. And it's not A-N-T, it's just Warren. I believe it's actually an E-N, not an A-N-T. But anyways, like I say, these people are definitely not the most intelligent, articulate, and understand grammar or spelling, right? I understand that. But these are people that try to tell me how I'm wrong, and they don't even know how to spell fucking words. Now, spelling's not the end-all, be-all, but it should be at least some. It plays some portion in a person's sensibility, their intellect, their intelligence, right? Their education, you would think. When she tried to speak in Washington, D.C., misogyny is alive and well, sadly. Misogyny, once again. What was my comment again about politicians and shit? Is all politicians. So I didn't even use the he or she. Read my comment. Let me reiterate my comment. All politicians lie, steal, and use the threat of violence as a means to an end. That is 100% factually true. So in reality, they are not even met with anything even remotely on the level of what they dish out. They get no sympathy from me. So where's the misogyny there? I said all of them. Not male or female. I didn't even discern or divide the sexes up. I just said all, right? This stuff just shows. I mean, come on. Look at the fucking proof. How much more proof do you need? Right? If I say the sky is blue and you look at, boom, instant blue, that should be enough. This should be enough. But hey, I digress. Let's move on to the next one. Brenda. Imagine that. And yet another woman. I mean, I'm sorry if I have to, listen, I don't like painting women into one, because my wife and the women in my immediate family, people that I know, yeah, they don't think like this. But as a general statement, women do seem to be very dogmatic and religiously zealot in the belief of statism, and willing to reject objective logic and reason completely. Look at this, is proof. I'm sure the family of the female British politician that was gunned down by is what, it's just a 2-letter word. And I know well, no, it's even 2 spaces apart. So how you go from N to, I guess it could have been a mistake, right? But maybe you should have took a second and instead of using just raw emotion, if you took the time out to think about objectively what you were going to type, you probably wouldn't have, or even edited before you hit enter. I mean, I have written down things quickly, but I at least take the time to read and try to proofread for the most part, so that, oh, okay, I recognize them. Look, it's your rationality. It's the quick response without using any objective thinking or logic, right? This is what it's really coming down to. A right-wing nut, all one word, right-wing nut, all one word, would agree with you. And then not. I don't, how, again, 6, this one gets, or no, the first one was, so 18 likes, 6 likes, and this one gets 8. So I got 0 so far, so my comment gets 0. And this is on CBC The Current. So like I say, look at the kind of people that pay attention to The Current. Now me, I do, because I like to know what the people that I oppose are saying. Right? These are people that align seemingly wholly with Anna Maria Tremonti or anyone else that's filling in for her, but this kind of ideology, and the people that are watching and paying attention to this stuff are completely in agreement and lambasting me and painting me as the idiot, as the moron, right? As the misogynist and all this shit. But listen, anyways, let's go on to the next one. Okay. Not even sure if this is male or female, but Alasdair Veach. Megan Fitzgibbon. So this is in response to the first comment. But what he said is 100% factually true. 100%. So there's no debate. B. Hunter has spoken. Not even sure. Once again, any counter narrative to rebut anything that I said, right? No, nothing. Just pure derogatory statements that are meant to not offer an actual argument or rebuttal that would help educate or inform the people that are going to pay attention to these comments, but just to throw shit at me, right? I mean, come on. Next one, Gord McFarlane. So as far as I know, this is probably the first guy, maybe, or other than this Alasdair Veach. I don't know. Maybe he's a guy too. But alternative truth. What's that mean? What does that even mean? What a comment. What does that mean, alternative truth? The fuck? Once again, I guess it's just a means to try to paint me as some idiot, right? And this is what they try to do. They fail on every level for anyone that has any intellect, but they don't fail for the mindless masses that are willing to go along to get along with this kind of political dialogue, this political narrative, right? This ideology. But I still fight them on a daily basis regardless. Next comment was, I invite anyone here to put forth an actual rebuttal to my claims instead of acting like little children or using derogatory statements. It seems that is all people like you can do when confronted with a painful truth. And what that does is show the people reading your comments that you have nothing to offer other than temper tantrums, denial, and insults. That's my comment. Not directed to any particular person, just being a general blanket statement that, yeah, they're just painting me as someone that I'm not, right? For what the fuck is the purpose of that? Next one is this Chris Lee once again. Karenina. All politicians use the threat of violence. You call that 100% factually true. Why bother even arguing then? Obviously, you just invent your own imagined reality, and you can't really argue with nonsense. Right? So, anyways, so here's the last comment so far. And And, I'll play this shit out as long as I can if they want to play along, right? I put the bait out there, and it's not ever to convince people like Chris. They're dogmatists. They're not going. It's the people that are paying attention to the comments. That's what matters. But anyways, my response. Apparently you don't even comprehend how government works, Krista. I get it. I guess it is you who are the one inventing reality, or at the very least denying it. Maybe you should at the very least have some grasp on what government is and how it functions before spouting off. It may save you from a lot of embarrassment later on. I suggest starting with a dictionary. Then you will get a defined meaning of government, as in to control or rule over. And then maybe you can try to figure out how it is that they control or rule over a particular geographical landmass. Here's a hint. It is not by asking people nicely to do as they wish. Obviously, it's all by force. Threat. Like everything that I stated in my original comment is completely, like I said, 100% factually true. It can be proven conclusively and objectively. But the people that don't want to accept that reality, the one that close their eyes and ears and pretend otherwise, yeah, they always try to fight you every step of the way. Let me know when you have made it that far. Then we can go from there. And then the next one is where I'm dipping it out there so I can see if I can't catch your snare in this particular trap. I can also prove that the authority people in government claim to have is a complete fiction as well. But let's at least get you up to speed on what government is first. And the 4-question quest for freedom, right? Whereas I can't, do I have an authority to steal people or make them abide by the edicts or the opinions that I choose? No. Do I have the authority or legitimate authority to impose my edicts or to steal from people when I use a third party as an interim to carry out my orders? See, not. So once again, it always comes back to government is not legitimate. There's no such thing as legitimate authority. The pretense is completely it's completely false, and it's objectively proven to be that way if you carry out objective logic to the end. I hope someone will actually continue to challenge me further so we can get to that point where, once again, I can show the mysticism and the conformity that's entrenched, the ideology and indoctrination that is entrenched in the minds of people that believe bullshit that, like I said, they're trying to say that Easter Bunny exists, right? When we can prove that no, the Easter Bunny doesn't exist, right? Have you ever seen the Easter Bunny, right? I mean, no. Or that Santa exists? No. Because we know that can be proven that, no, it was your parents that bought those gifts. There was no Santa Claus. No fat dude came down through your chimney. And no, there wasn't a bunny rabbit that can go all over the world or knows who lost teeth. And all. We can all prove that these are just mystical concepts or fantastical or fictional concepts, just like the authority of government is just as fictional, and it's a concept that can be proven to be false and conclusively and objectively incorrect. Yet they keep trying to play these games. It's a Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.